Every county is different, but in Kentucky, they require that you communicate with the property owner and tell them if they don't come in and pay, that you're going to foreclose on the property.
Hey, thanks a lot for joining us for Tax Liens in Kentucky Insider Tips. Now, I want to say thank you because we got a lot of questions from you guys, and that's how you're going to get your information and insider tips. You ask the questions, Ted Thomas here, who is America's tax lien and tax deed authority, is going to answer all your questions. Ted, without further ado, let's get right into this. Our first question, it comes from Emilio, who wrote in through LinkedIn. What is the highest interest I can earn in Kentucky with tax lien certificates?
Well, it's not one of the high-paying states, that's for sure. So we're talking about Kentucky today, and you can earn all the way up to 12% in Kentucky. So I know you'd probably like to make 14, 16, 18, but other states pay more. This is the only state I've ever read about where they're going to charge a fee. The county's going to charge a fee that they're going to tack onto the tax certificate. And over and above that, the county attorney is going to tack on a fee. Now, it's not some small fee. It's going to be 10% for the county and 20% for the attorney, the county attorney. So I've never seen any of that. So again, I'm not an attorney, so I'm not placing any blame or saying something's wrong or good. I'm just saying it can be different in every state, in every county.
All right. We're going to take a question number 2 here, Ted, and this comes from Elizabeth. She was on LinkedIn. Elizabeth asks, after I purchase a tax lien in Kentucky, how long does the property owner have to redeem the certificate? And what happens if they don't? First of all, how long do they have to redeem in Kentucky, Ted?
Okay, now there's a lot of different things in the Kentucky rules. So generally speaking, if you buy a tax lien certificate, the property owner is now allowed to come back and redeem. Now, what does redeem mean? Nothing to do with the church. It has to do with they can come in and buy their certificate back. In other words, they're going to pay you for the privilege of paying the taxes. So you paid the tax. Now you're going to get all your money back, 100% return of capital, and you'll get the high interest rate that they talked about. So they have 1 year to do that. If they don't come in and pay, well, then it's going to be up to you to let them know they didn't pay and that you're going to foreclose on the property. That means you're going to take the property and own the property because the treasurer and the county will X out, they'll get rid of any lien for a mortgage or for a deed of trust loan.
Hey, Ted, just real quickly. So it's your responsibility to do something or inform the owner that you're going to take, you don't just go ahead and work with the county and just take possession of the property?
Every county is different, but in Kentucky, they require that you communicate with the property owner and tell them what you're going to do. And I believe, from my reading of the rules, that you go, as soon as you get a tax certificate, you have to let them know that you have the tax certificate and explain some of those things within the state of Kentucky. So you need to know what the rules are. Where do you find those? They're always in the county records, and you could go to the treasurer and say, where do I get the rule, and tell you specifically, but you can look it up at the county website.
Our next question then, this comes from Matteo. He was on YouTube. He says, I live in Kentucky. How often do the tax lien sales take place here?
Basically, they take place once a year. The county will announce they're going to have a tax lien certificate auction, and they'll do the auction keeping in mind if they haven't sold the property, they'll have some kind of process to buy it over the counter.
Lucas from Instagram, he asked, can I buy a property at auction with credit cards in Kentucky? I know you've talked about this before.
So everybody, America buys on credit, that's for sure. So the 2 states that I know of that do sell property and they advertise they sell property, and you could use a credit card, are New York and Michigan. So to my knowledge, they don't sell in Kentucky. They're going to say you have to bring in cash or cash equivalent to pay for the tax certificate.
Can you do that with just a personal check, or do you have to have like a cashier's check?
Equivalent of cash. So more than likely, that's going to be a bank check, a cashier's check, or it might even be a draft, or it could be a payment online.
Okay.
You have to ask the county. You're going to have to ask them what the method of payment is. It's not important what I tell you. What's important is that you learn from the video that you need to go check the county rules, because I'm making this video today. You might be looking at 2 years from now. You think things are going to change in 2 years? Guaranteed.
Gabby was on TikTok, and she wants to know, do I have to register before attending an auction, or can I just show up the same day to bid?
Well, you can show up and bid, but you're going to register anyway. So they're not going to let anybody bid without registering. You're going to have to somehow, you can't just walk into auctions and decide what you want to do. You're going to walk in, they're going to record who that is, because they're going to want to know who you are, where you are. They're going to ask a lot of questions. And the county needs you to register with a tax certificate so they get your Social Security, because they're going to report to the federal government that they paid you interest. So the county's going to make you register, guaranteed.
Well, Kamari was on YouTube, and she saw you on there and left a question here. She wants to know, I want to buy my first tax lien certificate in Kentucky. How much capital do you think I need to get started? And that's always a big question, Ted.
Everybody wants me to say, you can start with $50, which you can. Okay, you can. All right, so let's say you bought a certificate and you're just buying a piece of paper. This is a tax certificate. It's just a piece of paper. You're buying that. When you did that, you paid someone else's taxes. All right, it's $50. All right, if they're only paying 12 or 14 or 20, whatever percent to pay. So let's say they paid 100%. How much is 100% of 50? It's not a lot. You're not going to make enough money. So you don't want to buy tax certificates that are $50 or $500 or something like that. Unless you're practicing, you don't want to do that. You want to buy tax certificates that are $10,000. So a year's interest is $1,000 or $1,500. I mean, the idea is to make money, and people that buy small ones, it's okay with me. It's your money, but you're not going to make very much money if you don't have it. If you don't have a significant investment.
Yeah, that makes sense. Last question, Ted. This comes from Ahmed. He was on Instagram, and Ahmed wants to know, where can I find the next upcoming tax lien auction in Kentucky? A lot of people ask this question.
Okay, you're always going to be able to find the auctions and the date and the time on the county website. Now, Kentucky has a lot of counties, so you need to get a list of the counties and decide which one you want. Now, some people just want to buy in their county, but the world has changed, and the change is this. You could sit at your kitchen table and you could buy in any county within the United States. Okay, so you could decide you wanted to buy in Florida, you could decide you want to buy in Washington, buy in Philadelphia, Texas, wherever you want, because the internet changed it. So if you know the rules in all those different places, you could buy. But in Kentucky, if you just want to stay within the state, then just make a list of the counties and then contact them online is the easiest way, or contact the treasurer's office by telephone. They'll tell you all the details.
Well, Ted, you offer a tool, don't you, that can help folks be alerted at the auctions and where and when?
I'm going to tell you something that's actually going to give you the key or the combination to a vault. And that's what everybody wants. And what people are struggling with is the tax lien and deed business is a business of abundance. There's too much for everybody, whether it's me or you or all of us, there's too much. By that I mean, there's going to be 3,000 counties. Of the 3,000 counties, every one of them sells tax deeds. Half of them, about 1,500, sell tax liens. That's a lot. So to figure all this out, what we did is we created an auction calendar, which they can find right below me. You can see like a demonstration of it. And it'll tell you when the auction is going to take place and how many properties. So that's like you just had the combination to the vault, and now you're going in, and here's this plethora, this mass of tax liens and deeds, but we've condensed it all down and done it electronically. Now, when we started, and you can still do it today, you could physically take out your cell phone, dial every single county, and they'll send you the local newspaper, which they advertised in. Now, this is a local newspaper from Jacksonville, and it's got over 30,000 tax lien certificates in it. All right, wouldn't it be much easier? You could do the whole thing online. So it's right below me, and there's a demo there.
Well, Ted, thanks so much. And everybody, thanks for watching. Remember, if you have some question about tax liens or tax deeds that you want some answers to, Ted's always happy to answer. Just leave him the comment. The team will get it, and you may see us in another video. And be sure to take Ted up. Click right in the description below. Thanks for watching.